This is my October 2023 video update on the Victoria real estate market. So October has been classified as a month with low sales and declining sales volume. And then also many of our indicators showing that we are ticking into either a balanced market or more of a buyer's market, and more particularly a buyer's market in the downtown condo scene. So it's been a slow month, only 407 properties selling this October. That's 15.2% fewer than the 480 that were sold of October 2022, and about 17.4% down from last month of September. So a lot of that's due to seasonality as we're heading into the winter season. But I think more broadly, it's based on interest rate environment, people wanting to wait for the October 25th key policy rate announcement by the Bank of Canada, and among other items which we'll touch on in this video, such as Bill 35, the Short-Term Accommodations Amendment Act, which got third reading and has received royal assent and is going to go in full force. So a lot of changes happened this month, so let's get into them. So let's start with the macroeconomic update and what the Bank of Canada has been up to. So they held their policy interest rate at 5% on their October 25th announcement. This is the second time they've held it steady. It went up to 5% back in July. The next update is coming December 6th. So stay tuned for that. Pretty good news for the market that there'll be some stability there. In terms of inflation, it's been quite volatile. In September, total CPI was 3.8%, 4% in August, 3.3% in July, and it hit a low in June of 2.8%. So we saw over the summer CPI did go up. I think that's largely due to commodities like oil typically going up in the summer, and those are naturally more volatile. So we'll keep an eye on this. The bank is projecting that inflation is going to average out around 3.5% going into 2024, and then gradually ease to their 2% target going into 2025. So likely a sign that current mortgage rates are here to stay until end of 2024, and then we'll see some gradual declines in 2025. So now let's get into Bill 35, the Short-Term Accommodation Act, which was announced on October 16th and then received third reading and royal assent on October 27th. So this policy did go ahead as planned with little to no amendments. So what is this all about? Well, there's a principal residency requirement now. So that means you are no longer permitted to rent out entire condos or homes. So an Airbnb style rental will only be permitted in not more than one secondary suite or an accessory dwelling, such as a carriage house, that is in the same location as your primary residence. There does seem to be some leeway for unusual type of dwellings like boats, tree houses, RVs, and yurts. Those will be acceptable for short-term rental use. And then more shockingly, and came to quite the public outrage here in Victoria, is the removal of the legal non-conforming status that many buildings in Victoria enjoy. And this is going to come into effect starting May 1st, 2024. There are a few exemptions for towns, but generally anywhere has a population over 10,000 people is affected by this. So pretty much all across the province. The only exemptions are for resort regions such as Fernie, Golden, Invermere, Kimberley, Radium Hot Springs, Revelstoke, Sun Peaks, Tofino, Ucluelet, and Whistler. So if you're not in one of those areas, you will be impacted by a new principal residency requirement for short-term rentals. There's also going to be a new registry, enhanced enforcement, and data sharing. So if you operate an Airbnb, I would strongly consider going into the long-term rental market or selling that property. In terms of people who decided to sell, there's 65 units for sale right now, a sharp increase. In a typical year, we'd see maybe only five of these condos for sale. They were such good revenue generators. But now many of these owners have decided that, hey, long-term rental rates aren't going to come anywhere close to providing the revenue that I'm accustomed to, or perhaps they barely can cover the holding costs for these properties. So we are seeing an influx of listings downtown, most notably in these Airbnb buildings that were relying on this legal non-conforming or grandfathering type use. So not great news for the condo market. The condo market was already sluggish before this announcement, and going into the winter, I think we will dip into a strong buyer's market. This is a one-time injection of units, and I do believe it will be absorbed, and over the long run, downtown condominiums will remain attractive and rebound. So let's talk about the condo market, and not just specify, this is not about just Airbnbs, but the condo market as a whole. So median prices trended down 3.4% compared to September, with the current median sitting at $540,000 and the average condo going for around $616,500. Sales volume slid down 9% compared to September, coming in at 141 units for the month. This is also down about 7.2% compared to October of last year. In terms of months of inventory, there's 4.8 months of inventory, signaling an official buyer's market, something we haven't seen since January of this year. So typically we do see MOI go up in December, January, just a sign of seasonality, but it's come a little bit early this year. Some other indicators I like to watch. So the sales to active listing ratio, that was 141 sales divided by 680 new listings. That is 20.7%. So that indicates a weak seller's market, and I do find this to be more of a lagging indicator. For a quicker indicator, I like to look at sales to the new listing ratio, which was 141 sales divided by 351 new listings during the month of October. That brings us to 56%, implying a much more balanced market and something that I anticipate rising going into the fall and spring. In terms of single-family homes, median prices also fell, but much more sharply, down 7% compared to the month of September. Median price was coming in at $1,125,000. The average single-family home is still sitting quite high at $1,259,000. It's relatively flat compared to last year. Sales volume is sliding, went down 15.4% compared to last month, with 193 units selling in the month of October. So in terms of the overall market, all product types, listings, active listings were up 25.7% compared to October of last year. Active listings are sitting at 2,756. I anticipate we will surpass 3,000 very shortly, which will be a record given the last 2 to 4 years of record low inventory. So it's nice to see a sign of rising inventory, a little bit more choice out there for buyers. Overall, months of inventory came in at 6.4, the highest for the year, indicating a balanced market. In terms of new listings for the month, those came in at 1,100, slightly up from the 998 new listings we saw in October 22. So not a huge influx of new listings in the month of October, but the listings that are coming on are starting to roll over month to month, and that's bringing our month of inventory up and up each month. In terms of sales to new listing ratios for the overall market, there was 406 7 sales divided by 1,100 new listings, that equals 37%, meaning we are in a buyer's market. Sales to active listing ratio, more of the lagging indicator, 407 sales divided by 2,756 active listings. That equals 14.8%, indicating a buyer's market. So with all these indicators, we are seeing we have shifted away from a seller's market more into either a balanced or buyer's market. It really depends on type of inventory, location. I do find out in the field that well-priced, attractive homes in good locations, particularly under $1 million, are still gathering a lot of interest. So if you're thinking of buying or selling in the coming months, make sure to contact your realtor to really go over and figure out an appropriate price to list at, because you have one shot, one opportunity to make an impression. And if you make an error in that, you're likely going to be sitting on the market for a few months. So that's all for this month. My name is Dustin Miller, I'm the managing broker of 8X Real Estate. Feel free to come by my office downtown Chinatown at 535 Pandora. I'd love to make you a coffee. Thanks for watching. Have a great day.